In this video, I'm going to be telling you about 9 cool details in the Star Wars Outlaws gameplay that we got to see from Ubisoft over the past few days. As we all know by now, Star Wars Outlaws is Ubisoft's open-world Star Wars game, and it's set between the events of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and in this game we get to explore distinct planets across the galaxy, both iconic and new. And this game is coming in 2024, however we don't have an exact release date at the moment. So Star Wars Outlaws, as the name suggests, is about the underbelly of the galaxy. We play as Kay Vess and her alien buddy Nix, who are just trying to make their way through the galaxy. They do this by completing one dubious job at a time. She did get introduced to us playing the favourite game of the underworld, Sabacc, which could be a mini-game in Star Wars Outlaws when it releases. Driving this point home is the appearance of Jabba the Hutt, receiving Han Solo encased in carbonite, which is a nice little nod to the movies since this game is placed between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, a time period we haven't seen explored since 1996's Shadows of the Empire. We did learn that several crime syndicates are vying for power in this era of the Empire, including the Hutts, the Pikes, and the new Yashida clan. One member is seen cutting down a Sullustan with a vibroblade, though it's unclear if they have any relation to Sarko Plank, an alien from the same species. You may remember Plank from The Force Awakens, but also in the comics, and most recently in Jedi Fallen Order. At the end of Ubisoft's gameplay reveal, it was revealed that the game will have a reputation system or a wanted system similar to games like Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption. Depending on the player's decisions, it looks like Kay can make it through dangerous encounters safe, or find herself with a wanted tag that will have the Imperials on her tail, at least until she can lose them by hiding out on some other planet. It's unclear how long these wanted tags will last or how you actually lose them. There's also the question about how they could impact certain missions or quests, but Kay has to be on her best behaviour, it seems, or at least jump around the Imperials when she is wanted. So this is the first fully open world Star Wars game. In terms of combat, Star Wars Outlaws is keeping it familiar with an open world third person perspective. Kay is able to approach situations in a myriad of different ways, whether that's by sneaking up on bad guys, creating diversions thanks to her helpful alien sidekick, or just blasting her way through the bad guys with guns ablazing. One thing we haven't seen yet is Kay talking her way out of situations other than in the cutscenes, so perhaps negotiations aren't her strong suit, and maybe you can only talk your way out of situations when it comes to the cutscenes and not in the actual gameplay. Outside of combat, you can expect intergalactic travel. The gameplay video ends with Kay escaping off-world on her ship to another planet through hyperspace, but even on the ground, Kay is able to seemingly steal speeders to cover great distances. And while we don't know much about the mission structure yet, it's safe to say there are probably plenty of locals on these planets who may have the odd job for Kay. Nix is going to be a great little companion to have in the game. During combat, Nix can either create distractions, perform tasks like push buttons, or straight up attack guards if need be. Nix is like a cross between BD-1 and the drones in Watch Dogs. In the announcement trailer, Kay does meet up with Jalen, who sounds like he has a job for her. It's a heist job, and accompanying Jalen is a modified commando droid, similar to the ones you may have sliced through in Jedi Survivor. Separatist gear seems to have a tendency of finding its way into criminal hands post-Clone Wars. This particular droid is named ND5 and is apparently more friendly with Kay, warning her about going into negotiations with the broker in the gameplay walkthrough. Based on the gameplay walkthrough and talks with developers, it seems like Kay will primarily spend her time on dangerous planets, which makes sense given her line of work. Ashkahar looks like an arid mining zone crawling with baddies, but we got some glimpses of some other not so friendly planets in the game as well. One of the planets looks strikingly similar to Kijim, a planet we first saw in episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Not only is Kijim a base of operations for a gang of spice runners led by Poe Dameron's ex-girlfriend, Zori Bliss, but it's also the home to legendary and Zellan droidsmith Babu Frick. We also got a glimpse of what is likely Canto Bight, the extravagant casino city on planet Katonica. While home to immense wealth, it's a high roller gathering place for criminals and outlaws looking to spend their wealth lavishly. It also looks like we could get to see Jabba's Rancor in the game. The timeline certainly matches up, and we already saw Jabba once in the trailer, so there's a good possibility that the Rancor we see does belong to Jabba. If this Rancor and Jabba are there, who knows what other familiar faces we might run into through our time in Star Wars Outlaws. The wanted system isn't the only thing similar to other open world games we have already seen. as Kay will be able to ride a variety of vehicles in Star Wars Outlaws. When she's making her escape from the mines of Ashika, she's speeding away on a speeder bike, which looks like one seen in Shadows of the Empire. And of course, she has the Trailblazer, which is the ship we get to use in the game as well, to help us escape off-world and travel to other planets. In the announcement trailer as well, Kay does run by some pod racer engines, which could potentially be vehicles in the game, or at least a mini-game, but again we'll have to wait to see more about the game before we make any conclusions about that. But that is it for today's video. So please do let me know down in the comment section below what you think about Star Wars Outlaws so far, and let me know if you will be picking it up when it does release next year. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure to smash a like on it to show support for the game on the channel, and if you are new to the channel and you've enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to be kept up to date with all Star Wars Outlaws content. But other than that, we'll see you in the next video.